gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
16 more victims of armed robberies this morning, with an armed robbery spree on the north side and a holdup at a Subway restaurant in Brighton Park. The crimes are mounting, with at least 30 reported in the past few days.
Woo! 30 armed robberies within the past few days. These super gremlins are getting busy, okay? And we already know they're dealing with the migrant crisis. They're dealing with all of these other different issues, crime, murders, the migrant crisis. All of these things are now amalgamating on top of each other. And this is the liberal-ish storm that was created by the same people who are going to complain about these issues. I mean, you have to love the irony. Honestly, I mean, y'all already know we don't feel bad for any of these people, because this is exactly what they've asked for. This is what they voted for. This is what they begged for. They demanded it. They yelled in the streets. They accosted the police. They attacked their fellow Americans. You know, they hurled all types of slurs against, specifically anti-white slurs. And now, you know, you're getting that blackety black experience that you always yearned for, and it is not working out well.
CBS 2's Tara Molina asking police what's being done to curb the crime, and she has our report tonight.
The armed robbery spree this morning lasted 20 minutes and spanned West Chicago to North Orleans, West Town to River North. Police say, quote, several offenders in a gray car left 8 armed robbery victims without phones, purses, or wallets. There were 8 more victims in Brighton Park, where 3 armed men hit this Subway, robbing 8 customers at gunpoint, then taking off with a cash drawer with $500 inside.
Damn, not the Subway.
The cashier was injured, but we're told he's doing okay. And just hours before, Tuesday night, a delivery driver for this pizzeria in Ashburn was shot in the leg by a man who attempted to rob the place.
Wow.
We mapped out these most recent robberies and the attempted robbery so you can see the spread. But we've tracked 24 more and just told you about a different spree in Logan Square Tuesday, where police told us at least 3 men targeted people on bikes, 5 armed robberies reported in 2 hours. So with the crime spiking, what are police doing about it? We asked Chicago police what proactive and reactive plans are in place addressing this continued problem. No one was available to talk with us. Chicago police tell us their detectives are actively investigating all of these robberies.
Chicago.
Reporting in River North, I'm Tara Molina, CBS 2 News.
Another night of crime alerts in the same neighborhood, and in one case, a man is shot. Anita Padilla is tracking an increase in violent robberies for us this morning. Good morning, Anita.
Good morning, Sylvia. You know, these attacks are just crazy. So you're somebody just walking on the street, a car pulls up, people jump out, and you are ambushed. I mean, basically, that is what we're talking about here. What we understand is that around 1:22...
And that is really the Super Gremlins superpower, if you will. The element of surprise, okay? The pop outs, the you know, jump out robberies, the sliding, like I've told you guys before. All of these different elusive maneuvers in order to take advantage of people. This is a specialty that a lot of these young super gremlins are now adopting, you know, to further their crime sprees.
In the morning, the men jump out of a white Kia. They're armed with guns. The victim never sees it coming, and clearly they are surprised. Let's look at the video right now when they are robbed. Now, around 1:35, it was a 24-year-old shot less than 2 miles away, and he reports that gunfire came from a Kia. So what's going on here is for weeks we have seen a surge in these overnight robberies. In fact, this week alone, there were more than a dozen of these cases with a concentration in the northwest and the west side of the city. One night, there were actually 4 armed robberies in the same night, all taking place within a 15-minute span. And in each case, they all had a similar MO. 3 to 4 armed suspects jumping out of a dark gray sedan, demanding the victims' wallets, purses, cell phones. So Chicago police say the robbery crime rates are up. If you want to know how much, it's a big number, a whopping 107% in just 7 days. And the neighborhoods we're talking about here, because you're probably wondering where specifically is this happening, we're talking about mostly the Ukrainian Village, Lincoln Park, Lakeview, Hermosa, Jefferson Park. All of these neighborhoods is where, if you live there, you need to be aware, especially if you're somebody walking. You don't expect something like this to happen. So what CPD is doing is they're putting more officers on the street. We're talking about the West Loop, West Town, Pilsen. They're going to be doing this over the next 3 months, and what they're hoping is that they're able to combat this problem. In fact, there's an alderman in that ward there, 36th Ward, who says that next week they're going to hold a meeting so that the community can come together, maybe discuss some of these concerns, talk about similarities. Sometimes you get information at these meetings where you're, not aware of, and that helps police too. That meeting, in case you want to attend, it is set for Tuesday at 6 o'clock at the Ukrainian Village Cultural Center. Sylvia?
All right.
The first robbery happened here in the 1600 block of West Chicago Avenue. Investigators say in roughly 20 minutes, the armed thieves targeted roughly a half dozen people. Earlier this morning, just before 1 a.m., a band of armed robbers struck, targeting 2 men as they walked down the street. The victims tell officers that's when a gray sedan pulled up and 4 men armed with guns got out and robbed them of their cell phones before leaving the scene. Moments later, and just down the street in the 1800 block of West Chicago Avenue, a man and a woman became targets. The couple says a gray sedan pulled up to them and 4 men armed with guns got out and robbed them too. They got away with the woman's purse. The overnight crime spree has left some neighborhood residents on edge.
I have heard things, and it seems like there is a lot more crime kind of from when I originally moved into this.
Seems like. And I mean, these liberals, they don't have, it's almost like they don't have any clue what they've gotten themselves into. But you are, I mean, this is like the frog in, the boiling water analogy.
This neighborhood.
Just after 1 this morning, the robbers may have struck again. This time, the group may have tried to rip off 2 men, possibly leaving a neighborhood bar near California and Chicago Avenues. Detectives say for some reason the thieves left empty-handed.
Be careful, but I would say don't let it affect the way you live your life.
Earlier this week, Chicago police
And that is horrible advice coming from this. It looks like he dyed his hair blonde. So this liberal glider is saying don't let it affect your life. And you can, if you look at his shirt, it says 333 half evil. So he's kind of playing on this, I guess, well, the shirt is playing on this satanic vibe, right? If you try in what they call, stop, don't let them make you live in fear and whatnot. If you try that strategy, you are going to be caught lacking, okay? And how do we define being caught lacking for all of you gliders who are new to the channel? That means that you are unaware, okay? You are caught with your pants down. You are, surprised by the encounters that you're having with these super gremlins. And I'm telling you right now, you need to be thinking on your toes. You need to be very aware of your surrounding, because these super gremlins are on demon time.
Careful, but I would say don't let it affect the way you live your life.
Earlier this week, Chicago police issued a community alert for a similar set of armed robberies around the same area. The locations include 5 spots on the north side overnight on Tuesday. Police say this is the same area where 19 other armed robberies have happened over the weekend. Finally, at close to 1:15 a.m., two men walking down the street near Orleans and Chicago Avenues say they were robbed at gunpoint by two groups of men who emerged from gray sedans. The victims' cell phones were taken. Investigators have yet to say if any of the overnight robberies are linked in any way and have yet to issue a community alert. In the meantime, no one is in custody and no arrests have been made.
Yo, what's good, BGZM News 17 family? I'm at the corner of Jesse Jackson and Marcus Garvey, and I got some bad news for you. As you can see, I lost my job. I'm out here living in cardboard boxes outside of boarded up vacant homes. YouTube said I'm done getting money out here in these streets. They even took my funky ass suit. So anything right now would help. So go ahead and hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal, hit that GoFundMe, hell, cop the merch. Or if you want to make the long-term commitment to the Jinquavius Jackson Fund, join the Patreon so that I can continue to put out top-notch content each and every day. Also, check out the Rumble, where there is absolutely no censorship. Link in the description box below.
Hey, yo, ain't that nigga Jinquavius? Yo, I recognize.
No, that's not me no more.
Hey, yo, run your pocket.
Y'all tell me what they say.
Do the opposite of Antonio Brown and take
What
all your
more
shit
do
off.
you want from me?
Welcome back. It's been another violent weekend in the city of Chicago. While many run from crime scenes, some run towards the danger. This morning, our pal Ramblin' Ray Stevens bringing us Street Pastor Donovan Price. Good morning to you both.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good
Go
to see-
ahead.
Elizabeth, you know, there's no reason for me to even talk today. The reason for me being here is to bring Pastor Donovan Price onto the show, because what this guy does for this city is absolutely amazing. I mean, you just said it. He runs to help people, and we always talk about why I come on Fox, and that's to do good in the neighborhood. Nobody does it like this guy. Solutionsandresources.org is where you'll go to find more details. If you want to donate a little money, he can't ask for that, but I can, because what he does for his ministry and the people of Chicago, unbelievable. Pastor Price, meet Elizabeth and Fox, man. These are good people.
We see it on your shirt, Street Pastor.
That's me.
I know you.
Yes, ma'am.
We're
Yes, ma'am.
working, you know, what we do in the field.
Right.
But tell everybody what a street pastor does. What do you do?
Well, basically, in Chicago, there are street pastors all over the world. But in Chicago, when someone is shot or unfortunately killed, I get to the scene about 20 minutes after shots fired, work with the family there, next day escort them to the morgue, help them with the funeral, everything, and then circle back around and help them the rest of their lives.
Woo! And I mean, this is a very thankless job. So shout out to the street pastor. It looks like he's putting his money where his mouth is and really getting out there and interacting with the community and trying to fix these issues in the community. However, he is putting his own life in grave danger, and that is the dilemma that a lot of black folks are dealing with when it comes to giving back, going back to your hood, and, you know, buying back the block, like Rick Ross says. Well, what you don't understand is if you buy back the block, that doesn't change the people who are on the block, and it doesn't change how they treat that block. And you're going to continue to see the littering. You're going to continue to see the home invasions, the property damage, and the disrespect unless you change the culture or the overarching, you know, demographic of that area. And what the street pastor is dealing with are, you know, families who have lost loved ones to gun violence. And the fact that he is reaching out to these people and, you know, to street ninjas, it can come off as picking sides. So he's pretty much one murder away from, you know, I don't want to speak this on him, but he's one murder, one crime scene away from it being his own, because the street ninjas don't see him as a neutral party to the violence. They see him as picking sides, especially if he's siding with the victim's family.
How do you do this?
That part I don't know. God, basically. It's a calling.
I mean, you're sometimes up nonstop.
Absolutely.
24 hours,
Absolutely.
probably. What was your night like last night?
Last night, not that bad. I stopped by something that was possibly going on at the United Center, and then maybe one or two more shootings, but nothing too.
Something that was possibly going on at the United Center. And guys, I'm gonna tell you exactly what was going on at the United Center after this clip, but it has something to do with one of our favorite super rapping gremlins, Lil Durk.
Too much.
How did you get into it?
I always say God snuck it in, but I started doing some community prayer events, and then the police department asked me to do some stuff with them, and then one thing led to another, and the next thing I know, I was off and running in this strange calling.
And Ray, your friend here just got kind of a big award.
He won the first ever Jesse Jackson Legacy Award, and what's cool about this, and when I had Pastor on the radio with me, when he was a young man, and he'll tell the story better than I, but he heard Jesse Jackson on the radio saying that he could be somebody. Look at this guy. He did it, man.
Did that inspire you?
Oh, absolutely. I think during that time period, as a young black kid on the south side of Chicago, I don't remember anything else about the Operation Push broadcast, but I remember him saying, you are somebody. You may be rich, but you are somebody. You may be poor, you are somebody. In any case, you are somebody. And that echoed through my lifetime.
Do you take that message and proclaim it to others?
Absolutely, I have to. In this city, sometimes even the city itself can be kind of dark.
What can be done? The multi-million-dollar question that we all ask ourselves, we all talk about. What do you think? You're out there every night. What do you think?
Well, I think it starts with the fact that, I always tell people, how do we look at each other in the grocery store, when we walk outside? What are we breathing in? And of course, there's some people who can make some decisions, and if they sit down and think and ask questions from people like myself who are in the thick of it, then you'll find out that it's a lot of different stuff going on than what you might see on a camera or might see in a newspaper.
And don't just stay in an office.
No, that won't work.
That's not going to work.
No.
Today, we might learn who the new police superintendent is.
Absolutely.
Thoughts?
Well, I hope it's somebody from Chicago, number one. And I hope they're, move smart, move strategically, but still keep it kind of firm. Because at this point, that's what's necessary.
How can we help you? What can we do?
Yeah, the only thing that's going to solve this issue in Chicago is firm policing. Also, convicting these criminals who are committing these crimes. It's that simple. And a lot of the issue comes from the lack of accountability on the back end. Once these guys get arrested behind the walls, they're just released back out into the public, and that does no good for anyone.
I can't be out on the street. I can't become a street pastor, but what can the public do to help you in your work?
Well, I need a little bit of help with everything. You can be a street pastor and be a computer programmer. You can be a promo person. There's a lot of help that's needed. And so whatever you do it for the city. Do it for the little children. Do it for everybody. Or unfortunately, it might happen on your front steps unless you do something right now.
Doing good in the hood can't top this, can
you?
You
can't. And I always say to everybody, out in the suburbs and out in the reaches where you think Chicago is in such dire trouble that you can't help, you can. And by and large, the people in these communities, they're just trying to live their life. It's 1% of the people that are doing the bad. This guy will accentuate the good, helping.
And that's where I have a disagreement. 1%? Really? I mean, it's not that small of a percentage doing the bad. Maybe you could get up to I'd go as far as to say maybe 10%, but 1% is a huge stretch. A downward stretch, in my opinion. It's an understatement.
Inner city Chicago is more than putting a sign in your yard. Get involved. Solutionsandresources.org.
Perfect. Pastor Donovan Price, Ramblin' Ray Stevens, thank you, my friends. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Go get some sleep.
Sure.
All right, it's now 7:50.
All right, guys, so you wanted to know what happened at the United Center. Well, a Little Durk concert happened, and there were reports of a active shooter, which those reports rendered unsubstantiated from my understanding. And now you are seeing the aftermath of that, and the way that these individuals behaved was absolutely insane. It's an embarrassment to the community, and I think that we should be ashamed of how our youth are acting out here in these streets, out here in public. And you know, I think that something needs to be done about it, but it just seems like the community doesn't care. So you see the chaos ensuing from reports of an active shooter. People are running around. It's a little chaotic. So as you guys can see, it's utter chaos.
Unfortunately, the show's over. Please exit the building.
So not only are we dealing with armed robberies, murders, food deserts in Chicago, but now we're going to be dealing with concert deserts, because nobody's going to want to throw a concert in Chicago if all the people are going to do backstage is loot the merch. So it's a little mixed bag, but you know, mostly it's, you know, individuals from the community, and they're not, what they don't understand, they're not stealing from the United Center, they're stealing from their favorite artist, which is Lil Durk, but they don't care. And I doubt Lil Durk cares about the chaos that ultimately, I wouldn't say that he's necessarily responsible for it, but his music definitely sets the tone for this type of behavior, and it absolves these people of accountability. So, you know, he should be, you know, honestly, from his perspective, he should applaud this, because all they're doing is doing what he tells them to do in his music. Security try to come by. I mean, security's lucky to be alive, because these individuals would beat them down for trying to do the right thing. So you heard the sisters in the background laughing at the old, you know, security guards, because they're trying to create some type of order, and it's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. We've got to do better. You know, but I don't feel bad that Lil Durk might have lost money at this concert with the merch, because like I said, this is the type of energy that he has created, that he has fostered, that he has backed and supported. So he shouldn't feel bad when it is returned back on him. I mean, it's evident that we got some issues in the community. But hey, I'm here for the ride if you guys are. These super looting gremlins are on demon time.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.